Welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. Hi everyone, Katie Gehring here. On today's Throwback Thursday, I'm going to be showing you how I made this reverse wreath Christmas card using the Peace on Earth stamp set along with the Love stamp set. So let's get started by going over some of the supplies I used. The first stamp set that I'm going to use is the Peace on Earth stamp set, and I'm going to be using the Peace on Earth Goodwill to All image that's included in that set. The other stamp set that I'm going to be using and that I reach for often is the Loved stamp set. So I'm going to pair these stamp sets along with some very basic supplies, including VersaFine Black Onyx ink and then also Versamark ink. I'm going to be doing a little bit of heat embossing with both these inks using Ranger's copper embossing powder for a really fun effect on the stamped images. The first thing that I want to do on my card is heat emboss the Peace on Earth Goodwill to All using the copper embossing powder. So I am going to use my MISTI to help me position the sentiment, and I'm using an anti-static tool, a powder tool, to kind of make sure that I'm not going to have a whole lot of stray embossing powder hanging around. So I have gone ahead and stamped it with Versamark. I'm covering the stamped image with the embossing powder, flicking off any excess, and I'm going to be applying heat with a heat gun to the panel. Now you'll notice that I'm heating both the front and the back of the cardstock pretty evenly, and what this does is it helps the cardstock not bend or warp too badly with the heat. And it's really important with this one because I'm going to be stamping some additional images. Now my next step is to stamp the reverse wreath, and so to get me started with that, I've taken a oval template and just kind of lightly traced around it with a pencil. Now I've pulled out the Love stamp set and the VersaFine Black Onyx ink, and I'm going to just start stamping the branch images along the outer edge of the oval that I have traced onto the card. So here I'm trying to do something a little bit symmetrical, but you know, my main point or my main objective here is I really want to make sure that I have defined that oval pretty well, so that you can really see what I'm going for here, which is the reverse wreath image. So I'm going to continue working along the edge of this oval, stamping the images from the Love stamp set in a mostly symmetrical pattern until the card is pretty much filled in. And you know, I know for the holidays, wreaths are a super popular motif, but I thought I would try something a little bit different with this card by doing the reverse wreath. And I'm calling it a reverse wreath because we're really allowing the wreath shape itself to be negative space, and then kind of filling in with the botanicals all of the space around it. So I have pulled out one of the thicker branch motifs, and I'm kind of stamping that in there, and just really kind of figuring out which stamp sets are going to piece together the best to allow me to really fill in the card to my liking. So when I am using the floral stamp sets, I have a tendency to go with the larger images or kind of my anchoring images, and then work out towards the smaller images. So I'm just finishing up now by adding some of those really tiny branch images into any open spaces to make sure that it is all filled in, and you can very clearly see the oval with all of the botanicals surrounding it. I want to add some copper to the reverse wreath image, but before I do that, I'm going to apply some heat to the VersaFine stamped images with a heat gun, and that's going to help me make sure that I first of all don't smear the ink, and then second of all, the VersaFine is going to pick up some of the embossing powder, but I don't want it to be solidly an embossed image. I definitely want some of the black to show through. So speeding up the dry time on the ink is really going to help that out. The next thing that I'm doing is with an art eraser is I am erasing all of my pencil lines. And now I'm going to go back and add a little bit of detail with Versamark and the berry images that are included in the Love stamp set. And I've just picked out a couple branches to stamp those berries onto, and then I'm adding some coppery embossing powder, which you can see gets picked up by the other stamped images that were stamped in the VersaFine. So now I'm just applying heat to melt all that embossing powder, and I really like the way that this turned out, and it's kind of an ombre copper to black effect that's taking place in the reverse wreath pattern. So I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and mount the cream cardstock onto a black note card. So I'm just going to trim up the stamped panel just a little bit and then adhere it to the black note card, and then we will be finishing this up. I've adhered this stamp panel to the black note card, and just look at that fun copper shine that's on the card. For more product information, please visit waffleflower.com and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for even more creative ideas. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.